Have you ever looked at someone successful and wondered, how did they achieve so much? How did they build that business? How did they become so disciplined? How did they transform their life? And then another thought comes into our mind. They must be extraordinary. They must be a special talent. They must have had better opportunities. They must be lucky. But what if I told you that most extraordinary lives are built through ordinary actions, repeated consistently? Every single day, not one big decision, not one magical opportunity, not one lucky moment, just small actions repeated again and again and again until one day people call it success. Welcome to today's episode, Small Action and Big Destiny. Because by the end of today's conversation, I want you to stop waiting for one big breakthrough and start believing in one small step. Because your future will never be built in one day, but it can absolutely be built one day at a time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Success and Growth Show. I am Dilip Patil. Every Sunday morning, we meet here to learn practical lessons about success, discipline, growth, mindset, leadership, productivity, and becoming the best version of ourselves. This podcast is not about motivation that disappears tomorrow. This podcast is about building principles that stay with you for a life. So, if you are joining me for the first time, I warmly welcome you. And if you are already a part of this wonderful community, thank you for coming back. Now, let us begin today's life changing conversation. When I look back at my own life, I did not remember one single day that changed everything. There was not one magical morning where suddenly everything becomes successful. Instead, I remember thousands of ordinary days. Days when I studied, even when I was tired. Days when I traveled to work. Days when I continued learning. Days when I write, even when nobody was waiting for my next book. Days when I recorded videos, even when very few people watched them. Days when I close, choose discipline instead of comfort. Looking back today, people see the books, they see the YouTube channel, they see the podcast, they see the experience, but they did not see the thousands of tiny decisions that quietly built everything. And that's why I truly believe success is never an event, success is habit. Destiny is not created by gained actions, destiny is created by small actions repeated consistently. Now, let me ask you another question. If small actions are so powerful, then why do most people ignore them? Why do people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity instead of simply beginning? Let us understand why people underestimate small actions. We live in a world that celebrate big moments. People celebrate the promotion, the award, the new business, the best-selling book, the transformation, the success story. But very few people celebrate the ordinary days. Nobody celebrates the person who wake up early for the 100th day. Nobody celebrates the student who studied one extra hour. Nobody celebrates the entrepreneur who made one more phone call. Nobody celebrates the writer who completed one more page. And because these actions look small, people underestimate them. But here is the truth: every great achievement is simply thousands of invisible actions collected together. Imagine building a wall. One brick looks insignificant, but thousands of bricks become a beautiful building. Life works exactly the same way. One workout looks small, one page looks small, one podcast looks small, one conversation looks small, but together they build a completely different life. The power of compound effect. There is a principle I absolutely love: the compound effect. Many people think compound growth only happens in money. No, it happens everywhere. Read 10 pages every day. 1 year later, you have read more than 3,000 pages. Walk 30 minutes daily. 1 year later, you have walked for nearly 180 hours. Write 5,000 words every day. 1 year later, you have written enough for multiple books. Improve by just 1% every day, and your life becomes almost unrecognizable after a few years. That is the magic. Small actions, big destiny. But unfortunately, there is another side of this story. If small positive action create a great future, then small negative actions also create a future. And this is where many people unknowingly damage their own lives. Let us talk about that. The danger of small negative habits. Nobody wakes up one morning and suddenly destroy their future. It happens slowly, very quietly. One unnecessary hours on a social media, one day of postponing, one missed workout, one excuses, one broken promise to yourself. Individually, they don't seem dangerous, but repeated daily, they become your life. And your lifestyle eventually becomes your destiny. Remember this powerful sentence: your future is hidden inside your daily routine. Not your dreams, not your wishes, not your goals written in a notebook. Your routine. Because your routine reveals who you are becoming. Imagine two people. Both are 25 years old. Both have similar education. Both have similar intelligence. One person decides to improve just 1% every day. Reads 10 pages. Exercise 20 minutes. Learns one new idea. Reflects every evening. The other person says, I will start next month. 5 years later, their lives looks completely different. Not because one person was luckier, but because one person's repeated small actions, while the other waited for a big change. And that brings me to something I want every listener to remember today. Your destiny is not decided by one big moment. It is quietly written by the small decision you make every single day. Now, you might be thinking, Dilipji, if small actions are so powerful, then why do we ignore them so easily? That is a wonderful question. And the answer lies in how our brain works. Why our brain loves big results but hates small action. Our brain loves excitement. It loves instant rewards. It loves dramatic changes. That's why Starting a new goal feels exciting. Buying a new diary feels exciting. Joining a gym feels exciting. Planning a business feels exciting. But repeating the same small actions every day feels boring. And because it feels boring, most people stop. They think, if this does not feel exciting, maybe it is not working. But here is the truth: growth is often boring, discipline is often repetitive, success is often invisible. In the beginning, nothing seems to change. You exercise, and the mirror looks the same. You read books, and life feels the same. You record videos, and views don't increase. You write pages, and no one applauds. This is exactly the stage where most people quit. Not because progress has stopped, but because progress is still invisible. And this is where successful people separate themselves from everyone else. They continue even when they cannot see the result. Let me tell you a beautiful story. There is a species of bamboo that spends years growing underground. For several years, nothing appears above the soil. Imagine planning. Imagine planting it, watering it, protecting it every day, and still nothing visible happens. Most people would stop. Most people would say, this is not working. But underneath the ground, the roots are growing stronger, deeper, wider, preparing for future growth. And then one day, the bamboo suddenly shoots up, growing several feet in just a few weeks. People think it grows overnight. No, it was growing all along. The visible growth was fast. The invisible preparation took years. Life works exactly the same way. Sometimes your biggest progress is happening where nobody can see it. Your discipline, your patience, your character, your confidence, your mindset, these are your roots. Never underestimate invisible growth. Now, let us make this practical because I don't want today's podcast to remain only an inspiring conversation. I want it to become a turning point in your life. Let us talk about the small action that create a big destiny. 10 small actions that can change your life. Action 1. Wake up with intention. Don't begin your day by checking notification. Begins your day by checking your purpose. Spend just 5 quiet minutes. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become today? That one question can change the directions of your day. Action number 2. Read 10 pages every day. Don't worry about finishing books quickly. Focus on consistency. 10 pages today, 10 pages tomorrow. 1 year later, you will have learned more than many people learn in 5 years. Knowledge compounds just like money. Action number 3. Move your body every day. You don't have to run a marathon. You don't need expensive equipment. Walk, stretch, practice yoga. Exercise for 20 minutes. A healthy body supports a focused mind, and a focused mind builds an extraordinary future. Action number 4. Write your thoughts. Don't allow your ideas to disappear. Carry a notebook or use your mobile notes. Write lessons, write observation, write gratitude. write goals. One sentence every day eventually becomes wisdom. Action number 5. Improve one skill. Just one. Don't try to master everything. Master something. Become slightly better every day, because in today's world, your skills are your greatest investment. Now, here is something I learned much later in life. Success is not only about what you do, it is also about what you stop doing. Let us talk about that. Small actions you must stop. Stop postponing important conversation. Stop waiting for perfect confidence. Stop comparing your beginning with someone else's success. Stop saying, I will start next Monday. Stop waiting for January. Stop waiting for perfect condition. Life rewards people who begin before they feel completely ready. Remember, confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes after action. That's why every small, courageous step make the next step easier. When I started writing, I did not think one day I would write so many books. I simply focused on today's pace. When I started creating videos, I was not thinking about hundreds of videos. I focused one on today's recording. Even this podcast did not begin with 50 episodes. It began with one episode. Everything large was once very small. Never forget that. By the way, if today's episode is making you think differently, take just one small action right now. Click the link button, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. I believe in small actions because this community is built by people who believe that growth happens one day at a time. Now, let us continue. The power of identity. Here is one lesson that changed my life forever. Don't ask, what should I do? Instead, ask, who do I want to become? Because your actions follow your identity. If you believe I'm a disciplined person, you naturally act differently. If you believe I'm a learner, you naturally read. If you believe I'm an author, you naturally write. Your identity shapes your habits, and your habit shapes your destiny. So don't simply chase success. Become the kind of a person who naturally creates success. Now let me share one idea that has influenced some of the world's most successful people. It is called the 1% rule. And I truly believe if you understand this concept, your life will never be the same again. The 1% improvement philosophy. Imagine you improve yourself by just 1% every day. Only 1%. Not 50%, not 10%, just 1%. At first, nothing dramatic happens. Tomorrow, you won't feel completely different. Next week, life may still look the same, but after a month, the gap becomes enormous. Because improvement compounds just like interest in a bank account. Every small improvement builds on yesterday's improvement, and eventually the results become extraordinary. This is exactly why successful people don't chase perfection, they chase progress. Every single day, they ask themselves, what small improvement can I make today? Maybe read one chapter, learn one new skills, exercise for 20 minutes, drink more water, call one client, record one video, write one page, small, smile more, listen carefully, save a little money. None of these actions will change your life today, but together they will completely transform your future. Now, now let me ask you another question. Where exactly can we apply these small actions? The answer is every area of life. Let us explore. Small actions in health. Most people don't become unhealthy overnight, it happens gradually. One healthy meal, one skipped workout, one late night, repeated again and again. The opposite is also true. Good health is built through daily habits: walking, stretching, yoga, balanced food, proper sleep, enough water, daily movement. The body responds to consistency, not intensity. Remember, you don't have to do everything, you simply have to do something every day. A small action in career. Many professionals believe promotion comes from one brilliant project. Sometimes it does, but most often career growth happens because of small habits. Arriving prepared, learning continuously, helping colleagues, improving communication, taking responsibility, delivering on commitments. These habits build trust, and trust builds opportunities. People don't recommend you because of one impressive preparation. They recommend you because they consistently trust you. A small action in relationship. Relationship also follow the same principle. People often ask, how can I improve my relationship? The answer is not complicated. Small actions. Listen carefully. Express appreciations. Say thank you. Applause sincerely. Spend quality time. Call your parents. Message on old friends. Encourage someone. These moments seem ordinary, but they create extraordinary relationship. Because love, like success, is built daily. A small action in finances. Financial freedom rarely comes from one big income. It usually comes from disciplined habit. Saving regularly, avoiding unnecessary expenses, investing consistently, learning about money, living below your means. These actions don't make exciting headlines, but they quietly create financial security. Again, small action, big destiny. Now, let me tell you something that I learned after many years. Most people don't fail because life is difficult. They fail because they underestimate consistency. Let me explain the power of showing up. There will be a days when you don't feel motivated. There will be morning when staying in bed feels easier. There will be evening when watching television feels more attractive than reading. There will be moments when quitting feels comfortable. Those are the days that define your future. Anybody can work when they feel motivated. Anybody can smile when the life is easy. Anybody can stay disciplined for one day. But greatness belongs to people who continue even on ordinary days, especially on difficult days. Show up again and again and again. One day, people will call you lucky. They won't see the years of consistency behind that success. Let me tell you a simple story. There was once a sculptor who worked on a huge rock every day. He struck the rock with his hammer. One strike, then another, then another. After 100 strikes, nothing happened. After 200 strikes, still nothing. After 300 strikes, the rock looked exactly the same. Then, on the 301st strike, the rock split into two pieces. People watching said, the last strike broke the rock. No, the last strike only revealed the work done by the previous 300 strike. Life works exactly the same way. Every efforts matter, even when you cannot see the result. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself exactly 1 year from today. Two possibilities exist. The first possibility, you continue living exactly as you do now. Nothing changed. Same excuses, same habit, same routine, same results. Now imagine the second possibility, you improve by 1% every day. You read, you learn, you move, you grow, you serve, you build, you improve. Just 1%. Who do you think will be living a better life 1 year from today? The answer is obvious. The only question is, which future will you choose? Now let me sharing something that I personally follow. Whenever I start feeling overwhelmed, becomes honestly something our goals look so big that we do not know where to begin. Have you ever experienced that? You want to change your life, you want to become a healthier, you want to write a book, you want to grow your YouTube channel, you want to build a business, you want to become financially free. Everything feels so big that your mind becomes confused. And when the mind becomes confused, it delays action. That's why I use one simple question, not what should I achieve this year? Instead, I ask, what is the next small action? That's it. Because life is never lived 1 year at a time. Life is lived one decision, one conversation, one page, one workout, one podcast, one day at a time. Let me share a formula that has helped me throughout my journey. I call it the daily success formula. Every morning, ask yourself 5 simple questions. Question 1, what is the most important thing I must complete today? Not 10 things, just one. Question number 2, what one small action will move me closer to my dream? Question number 3, who can I help today? Because success grows faster when we create value for others. Question number 4, what habit will I strengthen today? And finally, question number 5, what lessons do I want to learn before this day ends? If you answer these 5 questions every morning and honestly review them every evening, your life will slowly begin to change. Not dramatically, but permanently. Now, now I want to invite you to do something special. Not difficult challenge, not an impossible challenge, a simple challenge for the next 30 days. Choose one small action, only one. Maybe read 10 pages, walk 30 minutes, wake up 30 minutes earlier, write one page, practice gratitude, meditate, record one video, learn one new skill, call one customer, spend quality time with your family. Whatever matters most to you, then do it every single day. Don't worry about perfection. Don't worry about speed. Don't worry about results. Just protect your consistency. Because after 30 days, you won't just have completed a challenge, you will have started changing your identity. And identity is far more powerful than motivation. As we move toward the end of today's episode, I want to leave you with one final story. A story that beautifully explains why small actions matter so much. An old man was once walking on a beach. Thousands of starfish had been washed ashore. A young boy was picking them up one by one and throwing them back into the sea. The old man smiled and said, "There are thousands of starfish. You cannot possibly make a difference." The young boy picked up another starfish, threw it into the ocean, and quietly replied, "It made a difference to that one." I love this story because it reminds me that we often underestimate the value of one small action, one encouraging word, one change someone's day, one book can change someone's thinking, one opportunity can change someone's career, one decision can change someone's future, one habit can change someone's identity. One day can begin a completely new life. Never underestimate the power of one. My dear friends, if there is one message I want you to carry from today's episode, it is this: don't wait for your life to become easier. Don't wait for more confidence. Don't wait for more motivation. Don't wait for January. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Start today. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Start with what you know. Start with one small action. Because every extraordinary life was once built by someone willing to take one ordinary step and then another until the ordinary become extraordinary. So my dear friend, before we finish today's conversation, take a deep breath and ask yourself honestly, what is the one small action that I have been postponing? Maybe it is making a phone call. Maybe it is reading a book. Maybe it is starting a YouTube channel. Maybe it is writing your first page. Maybe it is exercising. Maybe it is applauding. Maybe it is forgiving someone. Maybe it is simply believing in yourself again. Whatever it is, don't leave today's episode without deciding your next small action. Because your destiny will never change because of this podcast alone. It will change because of what you choose to do after listening to it. If today's episode added value to your life, please do 3 small actions. First, like this video. Second, subscribe to the Success and Growth Show. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. IST, I bring your practical lessons to help you grow personally, professionally, and spiritually. And third, share this episode with one person, just one, someone who needs this message today. Because maybe your one small action will become someone else's big turning point. Also, comment below: small actions, big destiny. I personally read your comments and they inspire me to continue creating these episodes every single week. Thank you so much for spending these moments with me. I truly appreciate your time, your trust, and your commitment to becoming a better version of yourself. Remember, success is not built in one extraordinary moment. It is built in ordinary moments, repeated with extraordinary consistency. Until next Sunday, keep learning, keep growing, keep believing, keep taking a small action, because small actions create big habits. Big habits create strong character. Strong character creates great success. And ultimately, small actions create big destiny. This is Dilip Patil, signing off them. The Success and Growth Show. I will see you next Sunday at 7 a.m. IST with another practical lessons to help you build the life you truly deserve. Until then, take care, stay disciplined, stay consistent, and never underestimate the power of one small action. See you in the next episode.